everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tara and this is the Reclaimed Ranch. If this is your first time, thanks for stopping in to see what I'm up to. On my channel I do like to do DIYs and furniture flips, thrift hauls, all kinds of crafting, you name it, I pretty much do it. So if that's something that you're interested in, please think about hitting that subscription button and the notifications, put that to all, and that way you'll know whenever I'm uploading new content. I usually try to get 1 to 2 videos out a week, and so if that's something that you would like to do, then that would be great and that would help my channel. And so for today I have an old nightstand that was my husband's. He's had it since before I knew him. It's definitely had its time, and so we got him a new one, and I am going to flip the old one to give it new life and kind of modernize it a little bit. So I hope you like this video and let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks. Hello everyone, welcome back. And for today we are going to be working on this little piece here, this little nightstand. It was my husband's before we met and it's in pretty rough shape. We updated his nightstand in the bedroom, so this has been sitting downstairs waiting for someone to save it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take this little cubby thing out. We'll sand her all down, and I think I'm going to try and just keep this a neutral, natural finish and paint the rest of it maybe like an off-white or something. I might even add some legs. It does need some repair. This thing's fallen off. So we'll see what we can do with this piece. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and clean this thing since it's been in my basement for so long. And I'm going to use the Fusion's TSP cleaner. It's a degreaser. Gets all the crud and dust and stuff and fingerprints and oils off. And then we'll start sanding. Whatever you did, can you do some more now? Swear you got me falling for your resonance. Whatever you gave, can you take some more now? Swear you got me crazy all night and day. So now it's time to take that out. I'm just gonna take my hammer, and it looks like it's gonna come out pretty easy. It's just got a few small nails holding it in. So I'm just gonna pry it out of there, and that way I can clean behind where it used to sit. And you never know what you're gonna find in old drawers. You'll see here in a second before I start cleaning this. You can see it up in the upper left-hand corner. There's a coupon. And it's for some Lay's potato chips, but you can't really see, but it's expires December 31st of 1985. I showed my husband that and I said, "Have you been stashing this away for that long?" He thought it was kind of funny. So now it's time for sanding. Now this isn't a completely solid wood piece. It has wood veneer on it, and so I really want to be careful not to burn through that veneer. So I'm using just 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to take my time, go real slow and easy, and that way I can make sure not to burn through the veneer, because that piece is going to stay natural, so I want to keep it in good shape. Whatever you get, can you take some more now? And then I'm going to, there's just a couple areas that are pretty rough inside this area here. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of smooth it out, and then I'll just scuff sand the rest because it's going to all be painted anyway. So I'll let you enjoy some music. So after sanding, I just used a 220 because I'm going to be painting this part of it and then leaving the drawer natural. But there's still a couple areas that the veneer is coming off, or has chipped off down here on the ends. And then there used to be like a thing that stuck out, like a piece of stick about that far right here. So that was like a danger zone for my hips, so I just sawed it off. And then I'm going to put some Bondo in there and then smooth it out. And then I can go ahead and prime and paint. This is the Bondo I use. It's a high bond filler, and I love this stuff. I love it better than any wood putty because I know it's not going to shrink, it's not going to crack. It's super hard and it won't fall out. And it's done in 15 minutes. You can sand it in 15 minutes. So it comes in two parts, part A, part B. You mix them together until you get a nice creamy blue color, and you got to work quick because, like I said, it sets up within like 15 minutes. So you just fill the holes in, make sure you fill it more than you need, and then wait your 15 minutes, and then you can sand them down smooth.
Whatever you did, can you do some more now? Swear you got me falling for your isolate. Whatever you gave, can I take some more now? Swear you got me craving you night and day.
Go ahead and wipe down all the dust there. And then this is that paint wash that I used quite a while ago on a different table. It's Fusion Paint Algonquin and water. It's 3 parts water to 1 part paint. And I have now started using Fusion's high-end paintbrushes called Stahlmeister. And so I'm going to be getting those up on my website here pretty soon. And I figured if I'm going to be doing high-end products, I might as well use the high-end tools that make it a lot easier and give it a really, really nice finish. They can be a little bit more expensive, but in the long run, it saves me a lot of money because I'm not running back and forth to the Home Depot or Lowe's to get like low-end paintbrushes I'm going to be throwing away anyway. So this will make me take care of my paintbrushes and give me a good finish. So here's what that wash does to those reddish tones, is it kind of just neutralizes them and makes them look more of like a modern look. So I'm going to go ahead, because there's so much orange and I did some sanding, so there's some bare wood showing. I'm going to go ahead and just take the shellac and do 2 good coats, and that'll kind of even out everything and make it so it doesn't bleed through. And I found these little legs at the Value Village for 4-pack of $5.99, and typically they're $5.99 each at your Home Depot or Lowe's store, so that was a good deal. So I'm just going to make a little base so that I can screw those into that and make it into a little bit more of a, could be a nightstand or it could be an end table, just to give it a little bit more height. I'm going to use my Titebond wood glue as well as my Ryobi cordless brad nailer to attach all of these wood pieces. I'm going to stick it on there with the wood glue, and then I'm going to clamp it to hold it in place before I start nailing it on. I want to measure to make sure that it's level. And then I used, I believe it was 1-inch nails, and I'm going to angle them in. These cordless tools make working on furniture so much easier instead of having to drag around a cord. It's been really, really nice.
Whatever you get, gonna take some more now. Swear you got me crazy all night and day.
And then I let them dry overnight. So now I'm going to go in and just kind of, I'm going to use the Rust-Oleum 2x primer and paint just because I had some extra. I wanted to use it up. Even though I did shellac it, I want to get like a lighter color base because the main frame is going to be white. And so it's a lot easier to use a primer to get that. And so I'm not using so much of my paint. I wouldn't have to use 4 or 5 coats of paint. This way I should only use about 2 or 3. I know I should have had my respirator on, but it was a windy day, so I figured it wasn't going to bother me that much. So now I'm going to go in and with that Algonquin wash, and I'm going to paint the legs so that it kind of matches the drawer. And this is raw wood, so it soaks up that wash really well. So I give it 2 coats just to kind of get it a little bit darker color.
Some more now. Swear you got me falling for you isolate. Whatever you get, gonna take some more now. Swear you got me crazy all night and day.
So here I am going to go ahead and drill the hole for the leg. I can't remember what the size of it was, but it's just a little bit smaller than the screw on the leg. And that way I'll get a nice tight fit. But I am going to use that Titebond wood glue as well. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on the top and around the screw. That way it'll get up inside and have a really good tight hold. Once I get it on there, I'm going to go ahead and clamp it and let it sit overnight to dry completely. There's so many choices of wood glue out there. There's Gorilla Glue, there's Titebond, there's dollar store. I mean, I don't think it really matters. I just have found that Titebond has proven to me that it's got a really, really good seal to it. I've tried to take off pieces that I've put in the wrong spots before and ended up breaking it because it was such a good glue. So I'm going to go ahead and use Fusion's Victorian Lace. And again, I did prime it to make it a lighter color so I wouldn't have to use as many coats, but I still ended up using 3 coats just in a couple of spots. I just wanted to make sure it was a full coverage. And I'm going to use my mister bottle like I have in the past, and then I dip my paintbrush into the paint, and that's going to allow me to have a nice thin coat. That's probably why I went ahead and did 3 coats, was because it was thinner coats, and so it allows for less brush strokes that way. So I would rather spend the time putting more coats on and having less brush strokes than to have to deal with that in the end, in the finished product.
Whatever you did, can you do some more now? Swear you got me falling for you isolate. Whatever you gave, can I take some more now? Swear you got me craving you night and day.
I'm going to go ahead and work on the hardware while that paint dries, and so I just put it in a big bowl, and I'm going to put boiling vinegar into that, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to clean it up. And so it's been about 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and scrub them really good. And I'm also going to be using the Barkeeper's Friend Soft Cleanser, and it's going to help remove some of that tarnish on there. And I'll show you the difference here. So the one on the left is the one that's been cleaned. Does a really, really good job. And it cleaned it so well, and so it made it so shiny that I wanted to kind of dull it down just a little bit. It was a little too brand new for my liking. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Rub and Buff Antique Gold and just rub a little bit on each piece just to kind of dull that shine down just a little bit. I like the color, but I don't want it so shiny. And this is perfect. It's just taking some of that shine off and making it the same color all the way around. Making it look just a little bit older, not so brand new. So you can see the difference there. Just tones it down just a little bit. And now I'm going to go in with the Fusion Clear Wax, Furniture Wax. I love this stuff. It's like butter. It's so creamy. And it just soaks right into the wood and gives a beautiful, not super shine, but you can buff it out to get a nice sheen to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just wax the entire drawer and the legs of this piece, and then it will be done, because the Fusion mineral paint has the primer, the paint, and the sealer, so it already has the top coat in there. And here she is all finished. I think it looks so much nicer. My husband was like, wow, that looks really good. He's like thinking he should keep this piece now. And I'm like, no, we'll just redo yours someday. But yeah, he thought it turned out really good. let me know what you guys think in the comments below. She's a little bit more modern now, but I like how she turned out. And thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. You can hear my grandson in the background here. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!